Hey, what's up, everybody? Um, this is my first time on StreamYard, so bear with me tonight while I get used to this. Um, okay, so I see the comments. What's up, Jill? What's up, Megan? What's up, Kimmy? Um, so I'm gonna start the stream tonight with a Bible verse, of course. 1 Corinthians 13:13. So now faith, hope, love abide, these three, but the greatest of these is love. Excuse me. That was probably really loud. So yeah. Um, we're gonna be talking tonight about keeping this channel a safe space for people. And I have a really good quote from Walt Whitman. It's one of my favorite quotes. Be curious, not judgmental. So oftentimes I do it myself when somebody is sharing something. The first thing you want to do in your head is start being judgmental about what they're saying. But it's important to, keep a curious way of thinking and actually learn from people. So, as you can see, I guess, I'm not sure if you can see, but I made my name on here, Slow Mo, the Recovery Prophet, thanks to Megan. But I'm just as much a part of this community as you guys. I'm not doing this whole thing to be famous. I appreciate all of your support, but I'm here to learn as well. So it's good to maintain an attitude of curiosity, when people are sharing. So Jill says, "Hey, where's everyone at? I guess everybody's here now." You got here really early, Jill. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Um, Megan says, "Welcome everybody coming in. Give your boy a like on your way in. I really appreciate that." Welcome. What's up, my Skittles? I guess that's what she said. I'm gonna have to get used to the StreamYard because it's a lot different. But what's up, Tala? Says, "Hey all." Tala, what's up, Tara? Glad you can make it. Hey, John. Glad you could make it, man. So, yeah, I wrote down some things that we can discuss, and I want you guys to definitely be a part of the conversation. Because, like I said, this is not about me at all. This is about all of us in the community. But tonight, just wanted to lay some groundwork of expectations that I have for this community, and feel free to share any expectations or any thoughts as I'm going along. Um, but I wrote down that I want this to be a judgment free zone. Um, we can acknowledge our inner critic, but we should set it aside and visualize placing our doubts and fears and judgments in a box and imagine closing the lid to create a judgment free space. So, all of us here, we have, different opinions on God, on politics, I'm sure, on recovery, on just everything to do with life. And so we're coming to this place with different backgrounds. And I think this community, at least, the people that are in here are really good about not being judgmental and not critiquing others. There's a time and a place for, you know, um, adding your advice, when asked and everything. I think that's really valuable. If somebody's struggling, it's valuable to offer your opinion. It may help somebody to think about their situation in a different way. So all of that's important, but if we can set aside all of our judgments and just come into this to support one another, to learn from one another, nobody's better than each other. um, I think that's a great place to start out, to build this community and make it stronger. I guess Marky's here. I don't see him. Okay. Hello, my beautiful friends, Marky. Okay. Glad you can make it, man. Hello, my propane tank. And Tala says, thank you for coming, John, supporting. Yeah, I really appreciate you dropping in, John. All of the support. And I've been praying for you, dude. The recovery prophet. Yeah, when you said it, Megan, like it sounds kind of pretentious, honestly, but and I don't want it to come across as that, but when you said it, I was like, I think that should be my branding. I think that suits me. So I'm going with it. And John says, I do what my father puts on my heart. That's awesome, dude. Me too, man. All right. Trying to scroll through. I'm gonna have to learn this whole thing. It doesn't scroll the same way YouTube does, so if I'm a little slow reading the comments, that's why. John says that's why I'm here. Yeah, that's why I'm here. Like I said a prayer before this. This is not about me. You know, whatever God wants to do with this, I am open and willing for that to happen. I never said to myself I want to start a YouTube channel, and Megan brought up that it was a needed, it was needed in this space for an uppers channel. So that's why I'm here. And Kimmy says I have something really important to say. I can't wait to hear this. It suits you humbly. Thanks, Megan. Of course, Kimmy. No, I appreciate the humor because I feel like tonight's discussion, as I was preparing it, I was like, this is way too serious. But I feel like we need this conversation. And I just made a few points here. I think that um, I really didn't have like a complete idea about this. I felt like I need, your input. What makes a safe space? And so I'm definitely welcome to everybody's opinion on this. And Tala says, that is very selfless and humbling of you, bro. And that is the way we're supposed to be in Jesus' name. Yeah, man. I woke up first thing today. I'm just going to be vulnerable right now. This is a part of being a safe space. I'm going to share with you guys. I woke up this morning and immediately, like, I was not even fully awake. And I had this thought. So I think it definitely was a God thought. Um, Almost like what's the term? I just I felt really convicted, and I felt like I had kind of shifted my focus off of Jesus. And so I prayed this morning for that not to happen anymore. And I know not everybody here follows the same path, but I'm just sharing with you that it's very easy for us to, whether it's Jesus or our recovery or whatever it may be, our family, it's easy to shift our focus onto other things. And so that hit me really hard this morning. And so it's just important to stay in alignment with whatever goal you have. And this world is full of distractions. So Kimmy says, yeah, my bad, just getting my feisty out before you get into it. No, I appreciate the commentary. We need feisty. We definitely need feisty. um so we need to understand where people are coming from instead of passing judgment. we need to try to understand the person. And like I was saying before, we all come from different backgrounds. And so sometimes that's easier said than done. And then we have our own opinions of things, and that can kind of cloud things. But, um, the older that I've gotten better about kind of, sorry, I'm getting this camera straight, but I've gotten better about not thinking about myself all the time. You know, I before my recovery, when I was in active addiction, I was really self-centered. The world revolved around me. And so as I began to get into recovery, and give my life to the Lord, I realized this is not about me at all. Like, this is about, other people and, you know, adding value to whatever situation I'm in. So I think that that perspective can really help you not get so into inside your head, because when you start thinking just constantly about yourself, it can affect your mental health, it can affect your recovery, it can affect so many things. So when you step outside of that and think about other people, or God and your purpose in life, then you actually can get somewhere. And so yeah. So Tara says, to me, a safe space means that I feel comfortable sharing anything, no matter the thing. I appreciate you asking. Yeah. I think I may have even written something like that down in the notes, but that's super important. And that goes back to not being judgmental. We should be able to share anything, and feel comfortable sharing, and it not being that it would not be held over our heads when we share it. And Tala says, yes, bro, I went through the same thing last week, but that's good you recognize it and capitalize on it. Dude, I'm telling you, um, I had a very similar moment to you. Like, it was like I was in a dream state, but I wasn't. So that's why I knew it wasn't my thought. I really felt like humbled in that moment, and it hit me really hard, man, because I thought that I was focusing on Christ, but you know it's it's easy to get distracted, man. It's so easy to get distracted. And so we just always have to be mindful that it's a process. We're not going to be perfected, um, in this world. We can't be perfect, but we can strive to strive not strive to be perfect, but strive to be in alignment with our goals, with God, with our recovery, with our family, with our careers, whatever it is. And Megan says, "Good points, Mo." Um, when I went full steam ahead with addiction, I was an ex people pleaser. Sorry, like I said, these comments are like jumping around. Gotta get used to it. I was an ex people pleaser. I thought my addiction was a reward coping mechanism, awful, but it devoured me. I became so selfish in addiction. Yeah, yeah, me too. And I think, with uppers, I mean, any addiction, it becomes like that, but something about uppers just makes you so selfish. And you you just use it, like you're saying, as a coping mechanism. You're like rewarding yourself with getting high, and it's when you go years and years like that, it's sometimes it can change overnight. God can heal you overnight, but a lot of times it's behaviors and patterns that can take years to reprogram, your behaviors, your mind, all of that. So Kimmy says, I think it's hard sometimes knowing where the line is, especially because many of us, myself included, enjoy joking and playing around. Yeah, and when I was, coming up with these points, I was thinking about that because, you know, I think it's great that we joke around. That means we're comfortable with each other. um, that means that we're in a safe space to be able to joke around, not take each other seriously, but there is a line there. And so sometimes it's really difficult knowing what that line is, and every person's line is different. But I did, when we get further down, I did kind of go into that point you just made, Kimmy. And so, Marky says, a lot of times I have a difficult time opening up. Do you guys struggle to do that? Yeah, Marky, it, when I first joined recovery, it was extremely hard for me to open up. I had closed myself off. I was isolating myself. Um, Even like in dating, I would date a woman and she would be so open with me. And every time it would get to the point to where she would notice I had this wall up and she would bring it up. And, you know, I, I closed myself off in relationships, definitely in recovery. So it's difficult, but hopefully on this channel, you guys can feel safe in opening up, when you feel led to do so. So Kimmy says, I hear that, Megan. I feel selfish a lot these days. I make an effort to think of others because sometimes I'm so consumed with what goes on inside of me is challenging. Yeah. And that goes back to first off, I don't think you're a selfish person. I think you're a very caring person, Kimmy. But I understand what you're saying, and that goes back to what I was saying. When we get consumed with ourself, and we have this inner monologue going that's making it all about us, um, and you hyper focus on your own problems, um, you know, it can it can turn into like a spiral, a thought spiral, like we were discussing just last week. Thought loops. But yeah, for me, when I focus on other people, that's one reason I do, the job that I do as an EMT. When I am focusing on, other people's emergencies, I'm not thinking about my issues. So it does help. But at the same time, you don't want to get too busy focusing on other people, because you do have to make sure that you are good to help other people, to be there for other people. So Megan says, in addiction, any excuse of pain equals using. I was so in my head near the end, brutal place to be when you're not of sound mind. Yeah, definitely. I feel that so much. Um, it gets to be like when you're in so much pain, so you use, and then the using causes pain and it causes more issues, and it's just this big circle, and then it almost becomes you're looking for a reason to use, so you like self-sabotage, you cause more pain, and yeah, it's really difficult, and I'm glad that you are 6 months clean, Megan. I'm really proud of you. Tara says, Marky, I've been letting it all hang out lately. What's up, Beck from Oz? I'm glad you're here. I really enjoy your channel. You've got some great work. Kimmy says, Marky, I struggle with oversharing, but I usually shut down and don't reach out when it's most important that I do. Yeah, that can happen for a lot of people. And, you know, um, I think I was just talking to Kimmy about this earlier. I was sharing with her that, I don't know if it's the ADD or the addiction that I've struggled with. Like, early in my recovery and before I was in recovery, I struggled with being impulsive. And so I think that goes hand in hand with oversharing, um, just being an impulsive person and not knowing where the line is. Um, but I also understand shutting down and not wanting to reach out. Tara says, I used to have a hard time opening up, though. A few years of therapy and lots of meetings have really helped me feel comfortable. That's great. That's really good, Tara. I'm glad that you have progressed with your therapy to that point. That shows that you've been putting in a lot of work. And Kimmy says, hence why I use humor so much. Sometimes it's a mask, not always. I get that. Um, I have used humor for most of my life as, a mask. Um, instead of crying, right? Instead of getting vulnerable, you just laugh about it. You make other people laugh. Megan says, really proud of that, Tara. To know that, Tara. Hey, Jill, welcome back. Marky says, yeah, I do that too, Kimmy. Jill is in North Carolina. Awesome. What you doing up there, Jill? Beck says, hello. And Tala says, wow, bro, you're really bold tonight, and I love it. God is good. Yes, jokes should have a line, just as you said. Yeah, man, I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be as vulnerable as I can. And like Kimmy says, that kind of comes at a cost, right? Especially on a public platform like this. It really comes at a cost. But I feel like, if I'm leading this channel, I should be as vulnerable as possible so everybody else feels that they can share, they can be as vulnerable as they feel they need to be. Um, so I appreciate that, Tala. Beck says, I was just on Google Earth looking up Coco Winty. I think that's the way you say that. North Carolina. I'm in Australia. Oh, that's right. You're an Aussie. That's awesome. We love our Aussies. Marky says, hi, Jill. Glad you're here. Megan says, Marky, I have a hard time with opening up and worried how others see me. Lots of counseling and discovering my tribe helped. Excuse me. Yeah, that's a big thing. Um, the people pleasing thing. Um, I think everybody does it. I don't feel that I do it, but when I actually look at things, I think we all have an aspect of ourselves that is worried about what other people think. Um, we're in our heads, like just like after this is over, I'm going to go back and critique myself. I'm my own worst critic. And why would I do that other than I'm worried about what people think? So um, I think everybody does that. But, it is good you have been going to counseling, Meg, and discovering, people that will support you in your recovery. Jill says, very cool, Beck. I've always wanted to go there. Sorry, y'all. I have like this throat thing going on tonight, so if my voice goes out, that's why. I have like some drainage going on. Kimmy says, I do that too, Meg, but I'll lay it all out on the table and then I'll regret it, thinking everyone will hate me now that I've been open. Yeah, I get that. Um, it feels good in the moment to be vulnerable and to lay it out on the table and to vent to people. Um, but then oftentimes you can immediately regret the fact that you've opened up, because just like I said a minute ago, like there's a huge price to pay when you're vulnerable. Um, you know, you can get hurt, right? So, um, during therapy, I had a therapist that was helping me with relationships because, I just kept dating women um, that either I hurt them or they hurt me. Like it was just a toxic cycle of relationships. And my therapist made me realize that, you know, that wall that I had up in relationships was so I wouldn't get hurt. But if you're not vulnerable and you don't let other people in to be there for you, then you're shutting yourself off to love, right? You're shutting yourself off to support. And that goes back to the Bible verse I read, 1 Corinthians 13:13. So now faith, hope, and love abide, these three things, but the greatest of these is love. So love is the greatest of all of those things, and it can be hard to open yourself up to people, but it can be rewarding as well. Finding my tribe, love tribe, love that, Meg. Yeah, that's a cool way of looking at it. Meg says, I used to want people to see me as XYZ, but it's a lot to maintain if I'm really ABC. Exhausting. F it. Whoever likes my crazy will stay. Yeah, exactly. It's really important to be authentic. Um, it's hard to get to a place of vulnerability sometimes, but for me, um, I don't want to say I've always tried to be authentic because I think it just kind of came naturally, but it is difficult in the world that we live in, to want to put on a mask, to want to be a different person, to want to, like you said, be XYZ when you're actually ABC. Um, but we cannot control people's perspectives and what they think about us. So, just be yourself. Jill says, trying to find my headphones. What is tonight's topic? So, Jill, tonight's topic is I had to look at the title because I forgot. This is a safe space, yo. So, we're talking about creating a safe space for this channel and in recovery, a judgment free zone. And I'm going to go back here and start reading some of the other points that I made. So, the So I've made 2 points. So, judgment-free zone, understanding where people are coming from. So understanding, acceptance is the next one. So accept the person for who they are, which goes completely in line to what Megan just shared, without trying to change them. Okay, so yeah, accepting people for who they are and not trying to change them is, I mean, it takes sometimes it takes a lot of work to get there, right? Because you want to you see somebody going down a path, or you see somebody behaving in a certain way, and you want to give them advice or whatever, which is great to give advice. Sometimes people don't want advice though, so just accepting somebody for who they are and being understanding and trying to see their perspective. Megan says, Kimmy, love you guys. Are on my online tribe. Learned a lot of strength from this group. Definitely. Definitely. Kimmy says safe spaces, Jill. Yeah, and the whole safe space thing has gotten a bad rap. Like I used to make fun of safe spaces. Um, but that's a whole nother topic. And I think in recovery a safe space is important. So it's not saying I probably won't even go into that because that gets into like political stuff, but you guys probably know what I'm talking um, about like the jokes about safe spaces. But that is not what this is a safe space, or I hope it is. I hope that we can make it a safe space for everybody. And Jill says, I agree, Megan. And Tala says, thank you so much for coming to the to show support. God bless you, sister. Absolutely. I really appreciate you, Beck. I'm sure it's well, I have no clue what time it is in Australia, but we really appreciate you. Kimmy says, Megan, y'all are my tribe too. I can't decide if it's weird that some of you guys I consider really, really good friends. Um, I don't think it's weird because I consider a lot of you guys like really good friends to me, like brothers and sisters. Um, I talk more to you guys than I do a lot of people. So because you guys get it, you guys understand where I'm going, what I'm going through. So I don't think that's weird at all. I feel like we've already met in person. So Jill says, Tala, I really like the weapons video. You're good at that. Kimmy says, "Oh yeah, I confess to Morrison all the ways I was impulsive today." Yeah, I wasn't trying to call you out, Kimmy. I wasn't trying to make it sound like that, but I was just sharing what I shared with you when you shared that with me. Is that in my addiction and early recovery, and even really to this day, sometimes I can get super impulsive, and like I was saying um, I think that could be something that goes along with the ADD, which I don't even like to claim that label, but or maybe it's from the addiction, um, just going so many years living impulsively, living by like flying by the seat of my pants type of dude that would just like from one day to the next, I don't know where I'll be, what I'll be doing. So yeah, that's kind of how I've lived my life, which um I'm not as much like that anymore. I like to think things through. I do still have an impulsive streak in me. I mean, I'm an EMT, so I I kind of just go with the flow and never know what's going to happen from day to day. Um, but I like to make plans and follow through with those plans. So I think that's a step in the right direction for me. Jill says, kind of scary. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Jill. I may have missed that. Megan says, Kimmy, I used to think, OMG, these people on the internet must must not take me seriously, but I love you guys. Always excited to hang out. It's like refuge in comedy. Definitely, definitely. We're really thankful that you're a part of this community. And what I was saying to you on Telegram in our private message is that you add a lot of value to the community, Megan, and I'm glad you're here. And definitely love the comedy. You always have me laughing. Um, so yeah. Paula says, "Oh, thank you for the compliment, Jill. I appreciate you very much, Jill. Yes, practice makes better, Tara." Jill says, "Visiting my son." Oh, that's awesome, Jill. Are you there for the holidays? Barky says, "I'm very thankful for meeting such a great group of people." Definitely. I have such gratitude, and it's weird when I think about it. Like, I spent what, like 7.5 years alone in my I mean, I'll just call it Suboxone addiction. It's not an addiction for everybody, but it's been I would consider it an addiction. I know it helps a lot of people, and I'm not downing it. I definitely think that a lot of people need to be on the medication, but over the years, have not had a very healthy relationship with Suboxone. So, but my point is that for 7.5 years, I was just keeping myself in the dark, hidden, because I knew, most of these in person, like NA, AA, that type of stuff, you couldn't be on subs and considered in recovery. So I just kind of isolated myself, until one day I happened to find a video that Nicole made. This was when I was just really wanting to get off Suboxone, and she made a video about it. And so I found her, then I found Kevin, then I found Kimmy, and so forth. I found all of you guys. So I'm really grateful to have found you guys and be a part of this community. Kimmy says, "Yes, Meg, you guys are the first people I go to when I'm happy or sad about something, but I often feel like I'm going to wear out my welcome, so sometimes I try to keep it to myself." I get that, Kimmy. I'm glad that you feel that you can go to people in this community. Um, but you know, a true friend, you really can't wear out a welcome. I don't believe. I think a true friend, and I think most everybody in this community, are true recovery buddies or whatever. Um, wants you to be able to share, happy and sad moments, whatever you're going through. So, but I understand why you feel that way. Um, Jill says he's 1 year clean from 420, 4 years subs from 20 years of pills. That's awesome, Jill. That's really inspiring. And congratulations to your son for um, that amazing work. I mean, that takes hard work. Jill says, "You're doing great, Slow Mo." I appreciate it, Jill. I really appreciate all your kind words on the channel. It's very touching. I'm trying not to make tonight super sappy, but this this topic, is kind of a deep topic. I want to make it light and funny and everything, but sometimes you have to have these tough discussions. So Marky says, "My name's Blurry Face, and I don't care what you think." Always leave it to Marky to bring in the humor, to make it not so serious, which we need those moments, right? Tala says, "Yes, I love and am very grateful for this community." Most definitely, man. Most definitely. And Tala says, "Yes, brother, so true." Megan says, "Kimmy, that's my fear in any relationships. Abandonment, attachment issues. I hate realizing I have, but it's helped to understand why past relationships go the way they they do." Yeah, that fear of abandonment um can be a really really tough one to deal with, and um I think for a lot of people it takes years of therapy or recovery to get through that, because it can be super difficult. I'm sure all of us have had possibly difficult childhoods, and so yeah. Jill says, "I watch old streams when I'm blue," and Marky says, "Me too, Jill." Yeah, definitely. It helps, like, um to go back and watch other people's streams um when you're going through it. Because we like today's world, nobody, I mean, for the most part, people are not getting out and hanging out with each other, which is not really a good thing, right? We've kind of ever since the coof happened, we've all been like isolated, and it's easy for people in their addictions, we isolated during our addictions, and then in recovery, a lot of times it's easy to isolate. And Tala says, I love that scripture. Yeah, man. When I was getting all this together, that scripture just kept going through my mind. I think it really connects with this topic. Kimmy says, yeah, Megan, I have abandonment fears too. Sometimes I get so scared of being abandoned, I'll start pushing people away so I don't have to feel the hurt. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, I feel that for sure. Um, I think that was part of like in relationships, not just, like, love relationships, but just even in friendships, I would kind of put a wall up. And so I think that probably ties into um, worrying about rejection or abandonment. So yeah, I feel that. Tara, wow, Jill, your son is doing some hard work. Good for him. Yeah, definitely. That is really awesome. Megan says my BF, my boyfriend, knows about you guys. He's laughed. I said my friends, but you know what? I don't give an F anymore. That was hard for me not to use that word. Yeah, I mean, my wife's excited about joining the streams and stuff, but I will say there's been times when I've been watching the streams and she's like, "What are you doing?" But she understands, that, I'm not I mean, I've gone to a few of in-person recovery meetings, but that I need something for my recovery, and she understands that it helps me. Sorry, guys. This throat thing is really, really getting to me. All right, so we'll go into the next point tonight about creating a safe space. Um, this one is really important, and I hope you guys add some commentary to this. Um, it's set boundaries and accept others' boundaries. When someone expresses something is off limits, that we should not joke um, about whatever's off limits. We shouldn't joke about them or their boundaries. We should respect boundaries. Um, and that one's difficult, right? Because we all, I think, have boundaries, and it can be hard in this format to express those boundaries. Um, but I think it is important to express those boundaries to each other, um, so we know where the line is. Um, so if there's something that is off limits that you're not comfortable with sharing, or um, something that makes you uncomfortable, I think it is very important to express that and for others to respect those boundaries. And there's a line there, like, we make jokes and stuff, but when somebody says, "Hey, I don't want you to say blank," or "I don't want you to discuss this," we should not, even in a joking matter, we should not discuss it, right? We should respect one another, because that can cause people to shut off. That can cause people to, somebody may have just for the first time, like Marky was sharing, he has a hard time opening up. Let's just say Marky opens up and says something really personal to him, and somebody starts joking, maybe not specifically about that, but and he has a boundary and somebody crosses that boundary, that can cause Marky, I'm picking on Marky again as usual, or let's just say whoever, right? This is not about Marky. But I was just using what he shared and saying sometimes it's hard to open up. Um, and for somebody that may have a hard time opening up, or maybe they're open all the time and they share something, they should feel, this is a, like I said, judgment free zone. There's understanding here, there's acceptance, um, and there's love. I think I shared that one. And so, because we don't want people shutting down, right? We don't want to. Um, I'm sure a lot of us have dealt with trauma, and we don't want to re-traumatize people, right? So that's a huge one. That one we could discuss on a live by itself, on ways to go about expressing our boundaries. What are healthy ways to support people that with their boundaries, to not cross boundary? I mean, it could go on and on, right? I also made a note, um, that when somebody makes a clear boundary, they express a clear boundary to others. Um, we should never go after a person. We should not use. I'm just gonna be straight up with you guys and just get down to the nitty gritty and maybe step on some toes or whatever. But it is what it is. We should not be using the language of crazy. We should not be using the language of daddy issues. Okay, that is a clear cross crossing the line of a boundary. And even if somebody hasn't expressed that, you know, it's just I know it's a lot of times we joke around, and I'm not one to to infringe on speech. I mean, we have free speech, right? People express themselves differently, but you know, in in a recovery group where people suffering with and working on their mental disorders and illnesses, and also working on their addiction issues. We shouldn't use language like junkie. And I'm not going to say, "Hey, if you say this, you're being kicked out." I'm just saying, read the room, right? Because it's just, I I just don't think that that is helpful when discussing these things with people. Like, we shouldn't make generalizations. That's not okay. We shouldn't say, oh, you know, all women that do this are this. I mean, that's not helpful at all. So, I'm just saying on this channel, I'm not gonna, just block people for saying, words that I don't like. But if you cross a line, it happens, right? But we want to, when somebody brings up, "Hey, you crossed the line," we need people in this group to say, "Hey, you crossed the line." Then you apologize and we move on, right? We don't just keep going on and on about these things, to where somebody feels bad, they shut down, what have you. So I hope that made sense. I hope that's I'm just like like I said, I'm being vulnerable with you guys, and I'm just being straight up that, having a safe recovery space is my goal on this channel. There's other goals, but if people don't feel safe to open up and be vulnerable, then there's no point in continuing. If somebody is going to get harassed or whatnot for sharing, then that's not a good thing. And I'm not saying any of you guys are doing that. I have not seen you guys do that. I'm just saying we need to work on that, and I'm sure there'll be new people coming in. This is not a cult. All are welcome, right? But we just have to keep that in mind. And so, yeah. Jill says, yeah, everyone has come so far in their recovery. Absolutely. Tara says, yes, Tala, practice definitely makes better. Tala says, definitely, girl. Jill says, thanks, Tara. Those were hard years. Kimmy says, all I know for sure is you all make me want to be better. Definitely. I feel that same way about you guys. And that's another point I'm going to be getting to in this stream here shortly about being an example for others. Kimmy says, "Be a better person." Yeah, and that's what recovery should be. And any group that everybody's working on goals together, you should have people pushing you to be the best version of yourself, right? Jill says, "I didn't know about a lot of stuff going on with my boys." Amen, Kimmy. Marky says, "You and I are a lot alike, Kimmy." Oh, that's so sweet, Marky. The propane, you were the propane to her dumpster fire, right? Tara says, "My mom didn't know what was going on with me either. I think it must be hard for parents to see through the mask." Yeah, I put up a mask for years and years. My parents had no clue that I was freaking, you know, using meth, and they had no clue. They were floored when I told them. Like, they were truly floored because I hid it well. You know, I was a master at lying and deceiving, and I deceived a lot of people. Kimmy says, "I know we are Marky Hart." You guys, this tonight is just like super sappy, and I'm feeling the love in the chat. Jill says, "Too bad you're married, Marky." Jill, are you I don't even know if I wanna ask that. Are you asking for your I just will. Are you asking for yourself or a friend, right? That's so funny. Kimmy says, "LOL, Jill." Kimmy, yeah, Morrison, you've honestly been one of the best friends I've ever had. That really touches me. That touches my heart. When you said that the other night on your stream, was that last night? Like, I'm losing track of time here. I'm in a freaking time warp or something. A Anyways, when you said that, that really touched me. I really appreciate that, and I feel the same about you. Like, I've shared things with you that I haven't shared with a lot of people, so I really appreciate your friendship. And Jill says you guys are always joking about the word that cannot be named on this stream. This is a family-friendly place, Jill. I'm joking. You guys can, I mean, that goes back to boundaries, right? If somebody doesn't have a boundary with that, this is a place where if you need to share those things, feel free to share those things. Like, I mean, that may be something that you need to share, or it may not. You have to make that decision. Kimmy says we're behaving tonight, chill. Yeah, we're like you guys, and I don't know if I'm on my best behavior. I feel kind of spicy tonight. I feel like rattling some cages, but you guys are being really well behaved. So, Kimmy says at least for now, can't speak for later though. Yeah, I'm sure the after party, if there is one, will be lit, yo. Jill says, "I feel like I know everyone here. It'd be cool if we all met." Yeah, I've been thinking about that. Like, we need a gathering before we have to officially go to the bunker. We should probably actually know each other in person before we live together in a commune, right? We should probably know each other's, like, what's the word, like, idiosyncrasies or weird habits before we live in a commune, um, when the apocalypse is going on. So, Jill says, "Tala is scary, very well spoken and kind." Tala is scary? Maybe that was a typo. Tala is very well spoken and kind, definitely. I don't see him as being scary. But Marky says, "Indeed, Jill, we are all scattered all over the country, unfortunately." Yeah, yeah, we definitely are. Um, all right, we'll see you later, Jill. I know you said that way earlier. I'm so behind in the comments, so you're probably not even here. But have a good night either way. Kimmy says, "Maybe someday it's nice to think about." Good night, Jill. Haha, love you, girl. Yeah, Tyler, that caught me off guard, man. I mean, like, maybe it's the picture when you're ripped and you got all the guns. I mean, you're an intimidating dude, man. What's up, Big Maul? Glad you could make it, man. Kimmy says, "Welcome, Big Maul. How did you and Tala meet?" So I guess that question's for me. And of course, I didn't turn my sound off. My phone's ringing. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I have like a noise canceling headphone uh headset, but either way, I'm getting calls over here. But um I met Tala on uh Kicking Addiction, Kevin's channel, Kevin's recovery channel. So that's where I came across Tala. And he's felt like a brother ever since. Kimmy says, "Morrison, I just meant because sometimes I'm really needy, LOL, but I try not to reach out during those times because it'll show." Look, you know, I'm here whenever you need somebody to talk to. Let's put it that way. So, I don't look at it as needy. Um, you know, uh, I just see it as a friend needs somebody to talk to. Megan says, "Take care of Jill." Tara says, "Hey, Big Mall." Tara says, "Have a great night, Jill." Megan says, "I'm here for the sappiness. I want to mail you guys some Canadian sap." By the way, Megan, I love like Canadian, I guess maple syrup, like all because I've been to Canada. I think you know that. I've been to Toronto, I've been to Niagara Falls, the Canada side of Niagara Falls. And I love like all the little like I guess it's like candy bar, like candy that you guys have, like chocolates and stuff. They're really awesome. Back then I was smoking cigarettes and I thought it was pretty trippy that the cigarette packs were like this big and they had these really weird disclaimers on them. But Canada is super cool. Tara says, "Ooh, I love Canadian sap." Yeah, sap. I guess that's what you call it, sap. I thought it was syrup, but I guess it's the same thing. Megan says, "One day when I financially recover." I'm sorry, I'm not trying to laugh at that if you're being serious. I'm thinking of what was that show, The Tiger King, where that show during COVID where the dude with the mullet with all the tigers, the tiger park is like I think an employee had like their leg bit off by a tiger. And the Tiger King dude said, "I'm never gonna financially recover from this." And so I don't know if that's the reference to that, but that's why I'm laughing. I'm not laughing about your finances if that's a serious situation. But I like to mail you guys a small Canadian care package, ketchup, chips galore. Wow. I don't think I tried. No, I didn't even see those in Canada. I would love a Canadian care package for sure. You're sweet, Meg. Absolutely. Very thoughtful, Megan. It's really thoughtful of you. Amen, brother. Heart, big facts. Megan says, same Mo, it frightens me looking back on my developing manipulation techniques. Straight up desperation is what it was. Yeah, excuse me. I'm like burping all over the place tonight, so I apologize. I just ate dinner. But yeah, I I deal with that to this day. Um I think when you develop like a manipulation, uh deception, like deceptive personality, um it can be really difficult when you become a different person in recovery, or through the help of Jesus Christ. For me, it can still be difficult because you became a person that went out of your way to manipulate and deceive people. And so that there's still that little part that knows how to do that, right? So it can be difficult to not to choose every day. You have to choose what person you're going to be, right? So but it can be difficult sometimes when you get in certain situations, to not want to fall back to your deceptive, manipulative ways. Spicy. Y'all got quiet. Maybe I'm almost caught up. I don't know. I feel like I'm really behind in comments. Um, Tala says, you throwing the after party, Tara? Yeah, Tara, you should throw the after party. That would be awesome. I will try to be there. Um, let's see. Okay. I'm just kind of watching the time tonight, guys. I can probably go on for maybe another 30 minutes. I may can go on longer if you guys need to discuss, this topic, because I feel like this is a really important topic. But I do need to run to the store before it closes. So um, we definitely probably should continue in an after party if somebody wants to, and just maybe discuss this further or discuss something completely different. Megan says, bunker meeting, discuss roles, ticks, and icks. Exactly. You put that perfectly, Meg. That's what I was thinking. Like, when you meet somebody online, or, you know, you're, even if you meet somebody in person and you don't spend a lot of time with them, it's hard to gauge like the ticks and icks, right? The things um, that you only see in person with spending time with people. So Marky says, I'm gonna be up late watching the UFC. Right on, bro. Right on. Is that man fighting Marky? I haven't been, I used to be like really big into UFC. Here lately, I've just been so busy with different things to where I haven't really been watching the UFC. So I don't even know who's fighting tonight, but I used to be practically obsessed with UFC fights. Big Mall says, I'm or maybe that's I was addicted to McDonald's as a kid. Bro, so many people are addicted to McDonald's. I think Tala even discussed that in our Discord conversation the other night, how much crap they put into this, fast food and stuff to keep people addicted. That is a very real addiction for sure. Meg says, "No, Mo, please laugh. I need to laugh. It's the only way to process it all. I'm never gonna financially recover." Yeah, that was so funny. That Tiger King. I think that's what it's called. I don't know if you guys watched that, but if you need a laugh, I highly recommend going on Netflix and watching that crap show of a documentary style show. It is hilarious. It is absolutely hilarious. Tara says, "Not tonight, Tala. I need some rest tonight. Had a long day." Well, definitely take care of yourself, Tara. Rest up. And I'm also, been praying for you, been thinking about you, and wondering how your ketamine therapy went today. So Kimmy, I definitely need toilet wand replacements. I've you know, been blowing up the toilet a lot here lately, so I need to clean it. Uh, um, Kimmy says Rob just texted me. I just took a test and it said I belong in Mississippi. Well, good thing that tell Rob. Good thing Mississippi is right beside Alabama, so now he knows he belongs in the bunker with all of us. Tala says, I'm loving the live stream tonight, bro. I appreciate that, man. Just trying, like I said, trying to be just completely myself and completely vulnerable. And so, yeah. Big Mall says, what do you mean by blowing up on this? Dude, that's funny. Meg says Tiger King is wild staple of the early pandemic. There's some pics of him in prison recently rocking Air Force Ones and an iPhone. He's out of control. No way. I have not been following the Tiger King since that. Like I think I might have seen an interview. Um and honestly I have mixed feelings about that dude being locked up. Like um I think he was set up. I really think he was set up. I mean, um, we won't even get on Carol Baskin, right? I think that lady needs to be locked up. But that's just my personal opinion, and I am not defaming anyone's character. So yeah, that's a legal disclaimer. Not that Carol Baskin's gonna find this channel right with 30 subscribers, but I get weird about making comments like that. Kimmy says, I sent Rob a link and told him to get his A's here. Yeah. What's up, Rob? Glad you could make it, man. How's it hanging with the goats, bro? Is that a goat, Megan? I can't see. Yeah, I think that's a goat. There he be. Hi, Rob from Mississippi. Meg says, my condolences, Rob. That quiz did you dirty. Yeah, I will say, Mississippi, there are some cool towns in Mississippi. I actually really like a place called Laurel, Mississippi. Um, I've been there a few times, and if you ever watch those, like, I forget what channel it is. It's like one of those home decor channels or whatever. There's this couple that actually flips like old homes. So they renovate old homes in Laurel, Mississippi, and that community was once like one of the poorest areas, and they've really revitalized the community. So that's an awesome town where those people went in and single-handedly turned that place around. So that's a really cool place. But I will say that I think Mississippi um, may be one of the there's no better way of saying this, like, uh, poorest areas in the country, and so you can kinda see when you go through Mississippi that there's some really, um, rough areas. It's kinda like stepping back in time. Uh, their accent, is unique. Uh, I think KG might be from there. So I'm not talking crap about Mississippi, but I'm just saying it's an interesting place. And Alabama is it's I don't know. I mean, it might be similar to that, but I love people talk crap about Alabama, so I love Alabama. I love the country. I love um, small town vibes. At the same times, that can kind of be annoying, especially in recovery if you're in a small town. Like, so scroll up here. Tara says, "Thank you for asking, Mo. Long story. I didn't actually get ketamine treatment today. I forgot to confirm an appointment with my nurse practitioner. It was my mistake." Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Tara. Thanks for sharing with us. And hopefully you'll be able to get in there soon because I know it's really helping you. So just know that we're all here for you, and we support your journey. Kimmy says, "Don't ask him how it's hanging unless you're ready for the answer." Rob says, "Hi everyone." Big Mall coming in with the baseball diamond. Meg says, "How often are treatments, Tara?" Marky says, "Rob, hey bro." Tara says, "I plan on getting treatment next weekend, contingent on my NP's availability." Right on, right on. Hopefully you can get in there, Tara. Rob says, "Hey Marky." Tara says, "Usually every week." Megan, this is the second time I've gone 2 weeks in between. Have had 5 treatments so far. Well, hopefully, you're seeing the effects, the accumulative effects from the ketamine treatments, um, and so I'm really hoping everything goes smoothly, even though you've missed or you had to reschedule your appointment and everything. Big Mall says football and a cross. Marky says staying in this Saturday, Rob. And Rob says, "Hey Tara, what's up, Sonny? I'm glad you could make it, bro. We definitely are gonna have to link up. So cool thing. I don't know if you guys caught this. I think it was during Tara's live stream. Sonny and I, or no, it was maybe Kimmy's live stream. Sonny and I kept going back and forth with each other in the chat, and we found out that we're both in Georgia. So, hopefully we can link up in person and hang out. And I would love to hang out with all you guys. Like we're so far away. Um, I love traveling. Like I've said before, I was a truck driver in the past, and I went all over the United States. Unfortunately, I never went up to Megan's territory, but yeah, I've kind of slowed down on traveling, just because building a business and everything. But one day, I would love to definitely get together with you guys in person. Rob, Rob, man, um, I hope you enjoy your night, Rob. Meg says, "What's up, Sonny? Glad to see you." Debating on going out? Okay, because I took that a completely that comment before that, I took that a completely different way. Maybe that's just because like, I think of movie references a lot, and there's a movie called Idiocracy, and they call a certain thing baiting. So that's that's where, my brain went. My mind was in the gutter, so I apologize for that. Kimmy says, "Stay in Rob, you can do your own live stream." I would love to be a part of a live stream that Rob has. I would love to see you live stream, bro. Meg says, "Bunker brunch." What's up, Gonzo? Glad you could make it, man. Um, Looking good. I appreciate that, bro. Oh my God, Rob, be good. He may not have meant that. I may have taken that the wrong way because of, like I said, that movie Idiocracy. They call a certain thing, spending time with yourself, baiting. So that's where I went with it. But yeah, man, we're just talking about keeping this channel, this recovery space, a safe space. And so I'm gonna go back through all of this for those that have just joined us. We want to keep this a judgment-free zone. Um, we want to understand where people are coming from, Instead of passing judgment, we need to try to understand the person. We need to accept the person for who they are without trying to change them. We need to love one another uh, in a brother and sisterly way. This is not a hookup channel. If you guys wanna hook up, we're all adults here, but I'm just saying, it's good to keep in mind that some people on their journeys are in different places with relationships or lack of relationships, so we need to respect that. And we also need to set boundaries and accept other people's boundaries. When somebody expresses something is off limits, we need to not cross those lines. Um, and then one other thing, offering advice. Feel free to offer advice, opinions. Disagreements are okay. We need to just not go after a person's um, we don't need to call in question someone's integrity, like somebody's identity, integrity, or any possible weak areas. I don't even really like using that word, but any areas where somebody is vulnerable is probably the best way to say that. We should be understanding. And there's some other things that I wanted to mention that I didn't actually write down. Kimmy brought it up earlier, and I meant to write that down because that came to my mind when I was preparing this. I'm trying to scroll up here in the comments and see where Kimmy dropped some truth bombs. Just bear with me. Just scrolling through the comments here. Scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. Okay. I think it was the comment that Kimmy said earlier is that she knows all I know for sure is you all make me want to be better. So, leading by example, right? Being the best version of yourself for yourself and other people, encouraging people, and you know, all of that. Yeah, Gonzo. That's what I was getting at. From Idiocracy, for sure. Um, so this may be spicy. This may piss some people off. This may ruffle some feathers. I'm just gonna drop it. I'm being as vulnerable as I can be tonight, and this is me setting boundaries for the channel. This is not necessarily my boundaries, but or maybe not boundaries, but guidelines for the channel. So it's just something to keep in mind that I know you know, all of us are a tight knit community, and we tend to all support each other, and we're understanding. And I mean, this is like one of the best communities I've ever been a part of, probably the best community I've ever been a part of. So I want to encourage everybody before I say, some things. Um, and this is not necessarily about any one person. I just want to make a statement that we need to be aware that you know there may be new people that drop in. We want new people, right? You want your community to grow. Everybody deserves recovery. Everybody deserves to feel heard, to feel what's the word? To feel acknowledged, accepted, loved, and not judged in this community. But I do know, and I just want to just make people aware that sometimes there are people, especially on this platform, this is a public platform, that will sometimes, and I really hope this doesn't trigger anybody, But whatever. I don't really do trigger warnings, but it is what it is. There are some people that will target um, vulnerable communities, and I'm not calling us vulnerable, but I'm saying we are open and sharing vulnerable things, and we are all uh, in recovery, trying to better ourselves. And there are certain people in this world that will come in and um, begin to manipulate the situation, begin to do some pretty toxic things. So I just wanted to mention that I have great moderators on this channel, and I know that you guys would just delete their comments, take them out of the chat. But I think most everybody's aware that there are people out there that target and even abuse people, right? So I feel like I would be doing a disservice if I didn't bring that up when we're discussing a safe space, to maybe bring it back to our attention, because we pretty much all know this. We're in a fallen world. We're in a world that has some people that do not have the best intentions in mind. And you know, I will be vulnerable and share in my past, in my addiction. I had a lot of problems, and I used to manipulate women. I'm just going to be straight up and share that with you guys, So at the time, I didn't see it as that, you know. And going through recovery, I realized that I want to word this correctly so you guys don't get the wrong idea. But in my head, I was just pursuing women that I liked. But I had, like we were discussing earlier, I had become so used to manipulating, deceiving, making everything about me, to where I probably used that. Well, I did. I used that persona to attract women. And so the reason I'm bringing this up is I used to be that person. You know, all glory to God, I am no longer that person. Um, you know, so but there's times that I can get in that manipulative mindset if I let myself, because I've been there, done that. As far as, being a liar, being a deceiver, not really manipulating people. I've worked really hard in recovery and in my relationship with Jesus Christ to not be that person anymore. But there are people out there that may um, come to this community, whether they're intentional about it. There's different kinds of manipulators, right? There's people that are intentionally coming to find someone to victimize. And then there's people that don't realize, and this is, you know, probably the person I was, they will go into a situation and, like, because they have become a manipulative person, they start manipulating, and it's like a subconscious thing. So, I just wanted to share that and be completely vulnerable with you guys and let you guys know, this channel is not going to put up with manipulation and deceit. Um, as far as if somebody is sharing and opening up, you know, this is not the place to seek out, you know, people and start like some toxic type relationship stuff. We should all look at each other like brothers and sisters. And like I said, if somebody meets on this channel and you guys get married, I will be there. Like, I will be the prophet, the recovery prophet at your wedding, right? I will support that. But I'm saying if it's done in a toxic way, this channel does not need that. Like, this community does not need that. So, just being straight up with you guys, you know, there's a time and a place for tough love, and I'm just not going to put up with that type of stuff here. But it goes back to, this is a judgment free zone. If somebody comes here and says, "Hey, I struggle with manipulating people. I struggle with deceiving people." We probably, a lot of us here have been that person in our addiction, because it's hard not to be that person in addiction. A lot of times, if somebody is reaching out and saying, they're being open and saying, "Hey, I struggle with this. I fully support you, and I think everybody in this community will." But we're not going to use manipulations, um, or, you know, overstep boundaries in this community. So, going back to the comments here. No, Kimmy says, "Oh my God, Rob, be good." No, Rob's fine. Like, I love Rob. Always makes me laugh, and so you know, you don't have to filter yourself here. That's another thing. Like, I want you guys to not filter yourself here. I'm not going to um say there has to be certain speech, like infringe on your uh freedom of speech rights and all that, other than what YouTube does. Um, but we don't have to be good. Like, just be yourself. That's what I'm getting at. But if it gets to like abusive or toxic stuff, I'm not going to tolerate that here. So, Tara, Gonzo, Rob, oh my God, Idiocracy. Yeah, Idiocracy is one of my favorite movies, and it's actually a documentary. So it was it was a prophetic movie, and I think our culture is most closely aligned to Idiocracy at this point. So if you haven't seen that movie, highly recommend you see it. It is one of the funniest movies, and it's a prophetic movie. Like, it's already happened. Kimmy says, knowing him, he meant it. Sonny says, hope all you guys are well. Good to see you, Mo. Hope you feeling okay, bro. Yeah, I'm doing well, bro. My throat, I'm getting like some kind of uh I don't know what it is, but I got some drainage going. But other than that, I'm doing good. I am officially starting my taper. Well, I'm on a taper, but I'm officially jumping off of subs starting tomorrow. So and I want to give a shout out to Matt K, or Matty. Excuse me. He sent me 2 full boxes of supplements and all this good stuff to help me, all the products that helped him during his, jumping off of subs during his withdrawal. And so, huge shout out to Matt. I'm just blown away. I had just prayed like a few days before he said, "Hey, can I send this to you?" I had just prayed like, "God, please help me, because this time it's not feeling so easy. Please help me get off this stuff." And 2 days later, Matt was like, "I want to send this stuff to you." So it was an answer to prayer. I really, really appreciate you, Matt. I know you're not here, but if you see this, just wanted to let everybody know Matt is awesome. Just huge shout out to him. Rob says it was a typo. All right. Tala says, good to have you here with us. Rob, definitely. Rob is a man. I love hearing Rob's theories on all things strange: dolphins, cats, goats, garden gnomes. Gonzo says, baiting while watching Ow My Balls. Yeah, exactly. That is so funny. That movie is so funny. Like, I can watch it over and over. It always makes me laugh. Marky says, "Me too, Rob. Love that movie." Kimmy, you've never seen it. You have to watch that movie. I'm telling you. It was made in the early 2000s, and the fact that it's so, like, close to reality, um, especially when they get into the political stuff, like how it's the president, Elizondo Mountain Dew, whatever, it's just so accurate. It's really funny. Meg says, Mo, a topic idea for future pathways of recovery for stimulant users. I'd like to hear how people with a similar drug of choice, how their journey panned out when the channel blows up. Okay, Megan, can you send that to me in Telegram or Discord? I don't have anything to write with or write that down. Any ideas for topics for live streams or videos, please send those to me, um, and we'll make it happen. Yeah, and I will say, I have planned to have an interview with a guy, um, that had a meth addiction. And so he's going to be coming on the channel. Um, and I think possibly I'm trying to line up two other people, that have struggled with some form of a stimulant addiction. Because as many voices as we can get, the better, to learn from. So that's not a demand, by the way. I find abstinence really hard. No, of course not. I love suggestions though. I'm just starting this out. Like, I'm trying to come up with ideas, and sometimes it's hard, and I'm just in the beginning. There's a lot of ideas I have, but I'm sure the longer you go on, like when you're discussing the same topic, you're gonna need, more ideas, more input. So I welcome anybody's input on anything that needs to be done differently. Um, I may or may not do it, but I welcome everybody's opinion. Kimmy says, Meg, this might be a really dumb question, but does coffee help stimulant cravings? Huh. Um, I'm gonna answer that for me. I would love to hear Megan's answer. Coffee for me, let's put it this way. I used to put meth in my coffee. So, um, I've never looked at it as it helps with cravings for me personally. But anything that does kinda give you that pep, I guess, could possibly help. But I was putting it in my coffee. Like, that's how wild my addiction got. Tara says, "I had a craving today, different DOC, same idea though. Only lasted about 3 minutes, thank God." Yes, definitely thank God for that. Um, and I'll be transparent, like I've been off stimulants, for coming up on 10 years. Not saying I haven't slipped in between, because I have had some slips here and there, but, it's been like a few weeks ago. I think around the time I started this channel, I started having random stimulant cravings, and it really tripped me out. But thankfully, like Tara says, it went away, pretty fast. So, I definitely want to do a video or a topic about how to deal with cravings. That's really important to be prepared of how to deal with it before a craving happens to know what to do. Sonny says, Terry, okay, just saying hey to everybody. Um, Megan, nope, not dumb at all. Red Bull and coffee is huge for me personally. I have to be careful with all of it, heart issues and all. Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it can help, give you that little pep. For me, you can't snort coffee, you can't snort Red Bull. So mine was really like that trigger, that craving to stick something up my nose, to be honest. Kimmy says, I'm glad it didn't last long, Tara. I've realized when I think I'm craving pills, I'm craving either attention, love, or emotional regulation. Well, that's really good that you've gotten to like the root of your cravings, your addictions. That you've done a lot of work to get to that point, and that's really important to um, acknowledge that and see, what are you actually wanting versus, the drug. Like what are you really wanting out of this drug, this experience? Tara says, "Yeah, me too, Kimmy. Emotional regulation was the word today. I mean, the phrase." Marky says, "Red Bull, Megan. Me too, girl." Tala says, "Amen, brother." Kimmy says, "Good word of the day." Kimmy says, "Love you both, but Red Bull." Yeah, I try to steer clear of the energy drinks now, but um, I it does actually make sense, Megan, because I feel like it did for a time period, maybe because I'm kind of far removed. I've removed the all the energy drinks out of my life, but for a time period, I do think I kind of reached for coffee, for super strong energy drinks to replace that for sure. Megan, Kimmy, a doctor suggested an Adderall script. No way. I felt that was a slippery slope and didn't definitely and did not feel it. Finding the right antidepressant has been the medical tool for me now. I'm curious about others. Yeah, Megan. I'm glad you didn't fill that script. Um, I know for a fact because of my ADD, like I could go get a script right now. And I've had a script in the past, and it's basically to me, it activates that same thing that meth does, that any stimulant does for me. So if I took even one Adderall, I know I would immediately go score um, either meth or cocaine on the street. I know I would. So it's very. I'm very glad you did not fill that script because that is a very slippery slope, and I hope that they're able to find you the right antidepressant that will help you. Hemi says, "I'm glad you found what works for you, Meg. I am also glad you recognize the slip." Yeah, that shows that you are being really wise in your recovery, in your early recovery. Hemi, I'm glad you found. Oh, I already read that. Tala, being a YouTuber for the past 3 years, in my experience, it was very difficult in the beginning when it came to people. Excuse me. Like I said, my voice is about to go out, so I'm gonna have to end this stream. But anyways, being a YouTuber in the past 3 years, my experience, it was very difficult in the beginning when it came to people harassing me or attacking me, even death threats. But since I've been closer to Jesus Christ. I've learned to ignore the trolls and keep it moving for the Lord. Absolutely, Tala. I expect, if this channel does get bigger than it is, it's not just this little tight knit community that will happen. And honestly, I can take it. I know that there is a cost in doing the Lord's work, and I am prepared, or I feel that I'm prepared for that. What I was really trying to say is I want this to be safe for all of you. I could care less um if I'm getting, like he's saying, harassment, death threats, all that weird crap. I mean, that's not cool either. I'm not welcoming that, but I'm just saying I really want this to be a safe space where all of you can be vulnerable and share and not have creepers going around. And if that happens, we'll take it as it comes. But I just wanted to share that with you guys, and you know, it's also that line of like I know that recovery, especially uppers recovery, there are going to be people that are those people. They are manipulative, they are deceptive, and so they need help too. So but I want to establish a very clear, like, we're not going to take somebody doing some any type of abusive, or like any type of targeting somebody in this community. Kimmy, I used to do cherry bombs, but blah. Meg says, thanks for the honesty. Kimmy, yeah, that's really terrible, Tala. But I know what you mean, man. I already am kind of prepared for whatever God uses me in whatever capacity. Like, it's not going to be fun at games all the time, right? So, when you're sharing the word of the Lord, when you're being vulnerable and sharing your testimony, your life, um, you can kind of expect that a little bit, right? All right. Tara says, Meg, I've been through the gamut of antidepressants. The only thing that has worked for me is, I can't even say that, Raylar, I guess. My MP is a rock star and helped me get there. I couldn't have done it without her, literally. Right on, Tara. Tala says, yes, it was, but I'm glad God gave me the strength and peace to continue the mission. Yeah, never stop, bro. Never stop. You're definitely doing the Lord's work. I fully support everything you're doing, man. Meg says, spicy Mo sesh. Yeah, I definitely got a little spicy there. Probably. You guys aren't used to that, but it's not all Mr. Nice Guy with me. Um, so just being straight up facts. Once you unlock the manipulation beast, oof, yeah. Thanks for that message, protecting this safe space. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It definitely is. I would call it a manipulation beast as well. A manipulation parasite, right? That you kind of unlock, and it can be hard to get your life back on track and not be that person anymore. Meg says, Tara, I've never heard of that one before. It's a mental battle finding what works. I'm glad you got there with her. Excuse me. Sunny says, it's a big step to put yourself out there on social media. You got to be prepared for all sorts of stuff. 100%. 100%. And as soon as I started this channel, I knew what I could possibly be getting myself into. And I am okay with that as long as it's helping others. I just want to protect this community. So you guys are gonna see, like, the protective side of me if that happens. We don't want people that are vulnerable and sharing to feel targeted in any way. Tala says, if you're new, feel free to subscribe. Yeah, I appreciate that, Tala, for sharing the link to Kimmy's Playhouse and Tara's. Tara says, Megan, the mental health part of my recovery has been the most challenging part, to be honest. It took me a year to get to where I am now with meds and ketamine treatment. And thank you very much for sharing that, Tara. That is, that's a huge thing, because a lot of people get into recovery thinking, oh, I'm just going to get off these drugs. And then they realize they have an underlying mental health issue that has to be dealt with, and it can be very challenging. So we want to support all the people that are going through mental health um, diagnoses, right? Sunny, yeah, I'm jumping tomorrow. I am done with Suboxone. Um, like I said, I know it helps so many people. I know right now is the time. God is calling me to a larger mission that does not involve Suboxone no longer in my journey. And so I really appreciate Matt for all of his help as well, in aiding, that. Tara says, "Thanks, Tyler. You're the man." Mo from yes, I'm at 0.25. I have been kind of honestly, I'm kind of getting so low. I don't know. It may even be lower than that, and I've been missing doses here and there. But I will keep it 100. I took an extra dose tonight because and it's a messed up way of thinking. It truly is. But I said to myself, "This is my last dose, and I'm going live, and I don't want to be dragging." And all the excuses, and it's that same mentality of like, oh, just one more line, just one more smoke, just one more this and that. Just it's stupid. But yes, those are my intentions. You know, I'm going to do the best I can. I'm not going to set myself up for failure and say, hey, if I don't jump perfectly tomorrow, then, uh, I've failed everybody, including myself. So I'm just want to be completely transparent. This is where I'm at right now. And if I struggle, I will let you guys know because that's what a recovery community is for. Meg says, I felt out of my depths in early recovery chatting amongst people with way more experience under their belts. I had just breathe had to just breathe and be patient with the steps to figure it out, Tara. That was reassuring to read. Well, I'm glad, Meg, because I remember you sharing that in our panel that it can be very intimidating. And I don't want this channel, this community to be intimidating to people coming in, that they can just come as they are, be authentic, and share your struggles, share your journey with everybody. And we will do our best to be non judgmental, to accept you, to allow you a place to share, and just, understand where people are coming from. Of course, no doubt, God is good. God is good. It's got electrolytes. Oh my gosh, I love that movie so much. It's got electrolytes. It's what plants crave. Brondo, the thirst mutilator, right? Sonny says, I could drink 10 cups of coffee and go take a nap. It's always been like that for me. I wish I felt the magic of coffee everyone experiences. Yeah, I sometimes like I'll feel the coffee kick in a little bit, but once you've done what we've done, Sonny, um, you don't really you don't really feel like this, you know, super energetic thing, right? This boost like everybody feels. I don't think you can come back from doing such strong stimulants. I mean, you can be fully healed. I'm not saying that, but there, like, you go to the highest peak, right? And it's like any type of other stimulant, like coffee or whatever, is not going to feel like nothing compared to that. Big Mall says this is a good song. Listen with headphones. There is a photo of a woman on the song cover that looks like the woman in silicone based like we theorized that the pre-flood world was made out of. Okay, I don't see if you dropped that song in the chat. Maybe send that to me later, Big Mall, because I would really like to hear and see what you're talking about. Because that I remember in our conversation, we were talking about the silicone, and that was an interesting thought. I had never thought about that. Meg says, "Mo, exactly my fear, brother." I'm not sure what fear, Meg, but we have so many similarities. We've been through probably a lot of the same things with our stimulant use and abuse, and so I'm sure I'm right there with you. Big Mall says you should play the song on your live stream real quick. This song is called "Reconnected," like we are reconnected back to God again. Yeah, I would love to play lots of music on this live stream. I love music. But yeah, I don't want to get any copyright strikes. And to be honest with you, I need to play around with StreamYard because I don't know even how to do that. Like I don't know how like Tala brings up everybody's um comments up and Kimmy does that too and I don't even know how to do that yet. So um but I would love to listen to it, man. Maybe we could listen to it on the Discord together. Tala, it would probably be a good idea due to copyright. It won't be a good idea. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, okay, guys, definitely should listen though. I will definitely listen to it, bro. Tara, thank you for the recommendation, Maul. Love you guys. Nothing but love. Sonny says, Mo, bro, if you missing doses, that's a good thing, especially at that low of a dose. Yeah, I've been trying to, man. Like I said, it's just how I get sometimes. Like tonight, I said one more. You know what I mean? Like it's stupid. It's truly dumb. I was like, oh, this is it. I'm gonna take one more when I could have skipped, but I didn't do that. So just being straight up. I read your chart. It says you're evd. You talk like a okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I love that movie so much, man. It's hilarious. Click the comments. Oh. Oh, there we go. Wow. I mean, that's super easy. It gives you the option to show. Okay. Right on, right on. Well, we are caught up in the comments, and I really appreciate everybody coming in tonight. Um, I hope I wasn't too harsh on everybody. Like, I'm not talking specifically to you guys. I just want to lay like uh, a foundation, groundwork. Like, this is what I kind of want for this community. I want everybody to feel like this is a safe place to share. That you can be vulnerable. I've said a lot of stuff tonight that could be held over my head, right? I've been super vulnerable, and I could go back later tonight and be like deathly afraid of, oh my gosh, why did I share that with everybody? And I know that people have those thoughts sometimes, but I'm just saying, um, we should be a community that when somebody shares, hey, they open up and say, hey, I was a manipulative person. I was a not nice person to a lot of women or men or whatever. Um, that we show support. And so, but we don't take, sorry, I'm reading the comments. We don't take any abuse, right? We're not taking abuse in this community, but we're showing support. So it's a fine line of doing those things. Marky says lots of tards out there living kick-ass lives. Yeah, yeah, man. That's one of my favorite lines in the in the movie. Like I used to really identify with that because I felt tarded. You know, Kimmy, haha, I have those thoughts all the time. Yeah, and you know, look, I the way I look at it is I am being vulnerable. Maybe it helps somebody. Maybe it helps somebody else to be vulnerable and be able to share, and that will help them in their recovery, or you know, with issues with mental illness, whatever. Like, I've pretty much gotten to the point where whatever God wants me to do, I will be the most vulnerable person I can possibly be. Um, because I went through all this crap for a reason. Like I brought pretty much everything on myself, but there's a verse and I'll pull it up because I don't want to butcher it. So there's a verse, Romans 8:28. It says, we know that God causes everything to work together for good to those who love God and are called according to his purpose for them. So even though I brought all this crap on myself and I was this terrible person in the past, God will turn all of my stuff around for good to help other people. And so, we lead by example. We become vulnerable, and then it helps other people. It helps other people be vulnerable to help other people, and it just keeps going. And so yeah, I just want this to be a good community for all of us. Megan says, good hosting mode, not tough at all. Good boundaries to set and share. I appreciate that, Megan. All of the support. Um, Marky's cracking me up, man. My ex-wife was started. She's a pilot now. Don't worry, Scro. Yeah, I love all those the sayings from that movie. We could keep going back and forth, and makes me laugh every single time. You guys are speaking Latin to me. Well, Kimmy, your homework for tonight, or whenever you have a chance, is to go watch Idiocracy. You're really good at streaming more. I appreciate that, Kimmy. You got a lot to say. Yeah, I never shut up, right? That's what I told you before. Like I just sometimes I just ramble. So but yeah, I do my goal here is to support you guys, um, help as much as I can, and offer a safe space, yo. So we're gonna highlight this because it makes my ego feel good. So like toilet water, like water out the toilet. So yeah, I'm gonna call it a night. I'm gonna try to go get some groceries here before the store closes. uh, Kimmy, it's okay. Your chat does. Yeah, Kimmy's a great streamer. I strive to be like Kimmy. So you know, I look at channels like Kevin's and Kimmy's channel and Tara's channel and Tala's channel and think, wow, one day maybe I can be as good as these guys. So yes, honey, I rely on the chat because otherwise I'm like brain dead. No, you're not. No, you're not. Definitely not. You're brilliant, and so you could very well, like, you could do what I'm doing and plan ahead. I'm not saying I think it's good that you just read through the chats. Like, you're great at asking questions on the fly and making people think, like being thought provoking. But I mean, you would be good at planning ahead. You know. Um. Anyways, so that's the stream tonight. Um. Love you guys, and we shall see you next time. I guess it'll be next Saturday. Hope to be recording some videos for the channel coming up this week, so keep your eyes out for that. Also, I'm still waiting on the stuff for my studio. It was supposed to be delivered Friday, and I guess because of the holidays, they're saying it's not coming till the 20th. And hopefully, I'll get that, man, because I really was wanting to release my music before Christmas. But you know, whenever it happens, it happens. And so keep your eyes out on that. Tala says, awesome stream, brother. Keep up the good work. Great topics tonight. He did awesome. I appreciate all the love from you guys. Could not do it without you guys. And so, yeah, God bless. We will see you next time. Peace.